Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. Today we're talking about the new sci-fi thriller, Oxygen, which is on Netflix right now.
Interruption. Niveau d'oxygène approchant du seuil critique.
So I'm not going to go into too many details with this movie because it just hit Netflix yesterday, so this is going to be a spoiler-free review. Basically, the plot synopsis of this movie is you have this woman who wakes up in this cryogenic chamber. She doesn't know where she is, she doesn't know who she is, and she's running out of time because she's also running out of oxygen, as the title suggests. So I was really looking forward to this movie. I had seen the trailer a little while back, and I was like, wow, this looks like it's going to be really, really intense. Have that claustrophobic feeling. And it's directed by Alexander Aja. I'm probably saying his name wrong. It is a foreign film, so I actually watched it with the subtitles on. I believe you guys, obviously do have the option to have it dubbed as well. From what I heard, it isn't terrible seeing it dubbed, but I always prefer to have, the subtitles on as far as the foreign films go. Just see them how they were, made to be seen. So that is how I watched this movie. Again, I'm not going to go into super details, but for the most part, this movie really kind of all takes place in this cryogenic chamber. Outside of some flashbacks that we see with the character, because throughout the film we kind of start discovering a little bit more about this character's past, because that's kind of the key to figuring out obviously where she is and how to get out of here as well. So as the movie goes on, you get to see little bits and pieces, but for the most part the movie takes place exclusively in this chamber throughout the whole film. And it gave me, for sure, there were some moments where it gave you that claustrophobic, anxiety feeling watching this movie. So I think they did a really good job as far as that goes. And I think they really accomplished this, in a couple of different ways. So first off, when the movie first opens up, you see a scene where she's kind of getting out of this plastic material, and she's in the chamber. And I won't go into much more detail, but that scene definitely just. I was like, oh, I hate that, feeling. I'm not a super claustrophobic person, but I definitely don't care for it, I guess. And that scene really, got to me. And this character, she's inside this chamber. She wakes up. She doesn't know why she's here, and she can't remember anything about her as well. So I mean, that's also pretty terrifying. If you're someone, it's one thing waking up in a place and it's you might know where you are, but waking up where you don't know where you are and you're in this weird chamber thing, yeah, that would definitely freak, I'm sure, a lot of you guys out. I know it would for me. And then to top all of that off, when she wakes up, there is this AI built into this chamber, and its name's Milo, and it's talking to her and can answer some of her questions, but it tells her right away that this chamber has been damaged in some way for some reason, and there's only 35% of oxygen left before she'll die. So it's yeah, we're off to a great start here. You start off the film or whatever. She wakes up, doesn't know where she is, doesn't know who she is, and you're also running out of oxygen. So, I mean, good luck with that. I mean, that's not going to stress you out or anything like that. So, I think they did a good job of really kind of setting that up. And, she's talking to this machine, and it doesn't always understand her request at all. So, I mean, if any of you guys have called a customer service line, I know I have, and you're trying to talk to a robot, machine or whatever, and it's sorry, I don't understand your request. You can imagine how frustrating that is, and especially realizing you're running out of time because you're going to die. You're going to run out of oxygen. So they did a really good job as far as that whole setup goes, I think. I thought the main character in this film, because there's really only for the most part, it focuses on this one character. You like I said, in the flashbacks, you do see glimpses of some other people. You don't really learn a whole lot about them. So for the most part, this movie focuses on this one character played by Melanie Laurent. And it's if she didn't pull off this performance, this movie would really kind of suck, because it all kind of hinges on her performance. And I thought she did a really good job, from waking up, not knowing where she is, just displaying all these different emotions as far as fear, anxiety. For me, I was just really invested in this character, and it's I'm cheering for him, okay, you got to figure this out. You got to get out of here. You're running out of time. So I was really invested in her story. So I thought her performance overall, really carried the movie. So she did a great job as far as that goes. And as far as the directing, goes, I think Alexander Aja, he did a really good job as far as, the film goes. For the most part, it takes place in this, this one little chamber. So if you didn't have a good director behind this film, this is something, you know, in any like films that are kind of like, you know, like one or two locations, if a director isn't able to kind of give you like different shots, perspectives, you know, different styles or whatever, it could very easily become a boring film because you're just only in this one area with this like one character for the most part. So that could very easily become boring, and I really wasn't bored for the most part. I would say the only real negative that I have with the film overall, and I wasn't like bored, it just that towards like the end of the movie, it maybe drags on for just like a little bit more than it should have. Like, I don't know if they could have cut off like 10 or 15 minutes and just made this thing like a little bit tighter. But there really wasn't a point where I was just like, oh my God, this is like so boring. Like, I'm wasting my time here. So I think they could have just shaved off like a few of like the minutes as far as the runtime goes, and this thing would have been like, you know, amazing. But overall, I still really, really enjoyed this film. You know, like I said, right from the get-go, you're invested in this character's story, you know, try to figure out like where she is, how she's going to get out of here because she's running out of time. And you come up with all these like, you know, different obstacles and stuff like along the way. So I was really engaged throughout the whole film. And again, great performance by Melanie Lawrence. So she did a great job as far as that goes. If you guys, you know, and it's not really anything I would say that's like, you know, groundbreaking. There's films that have done this before, you know, like Buried with like Ryan Reynolds and stuff like that. But I thought, you know, they made it interesting and like fresh enough that it wasn't just like, oh, here's just another, you know, movie where someone's trapped in an area and they're trying to get out. So I thought they brought a fresh enough spin that, you know, I was definitely interested throughout the whole film. So as far as the score goes, I'm going to give this thing an 8 out of 10. If you guys are interested in, you know, like sci-fi, like thrillers or anything like that, I think you would definitely want to check this film out. Again, it's on Netflix right now, so go ahead and check it out. If you guys have already seen it, let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button next to it. That way you get notifications for all my new videos. I'm going to be seeing Spiral, the Book of Saw, or it's just like Spiral now. I'm going to be seeing that this weekend, so I'll be doing a review on that. I also have another interview for the channel coming up soon, so keep an eye out. Please just give this video a thumbs up. And as always, guys, please make sure to check back for more Pop Culture with Pat.